Hey everyone, welcome to the DigiKids Academy YouTube channel. We're here at AwesomeCon and we've got some just real serious talent here. What a great event it's been for the last 3 days. I'd like to introduce to everyone John Gallagher with Max Meow. We met a couple years ago, signed a book for my boy who has a very similar name, and we thought it'd be great to introduce John to everyone in the community. John, can you please tell us about Max Meow and how you started drawing Max Meow?
Sure. Well, thanks for having me. Max Meow is the story of a superhero cat, and he got his powers from eating part of a meatball from outer space.
Nice.
Yeah, and he's teamed up with his super scientist best friend, Mindy Microbe, and together they keep the city of Kittyopolis safe from bad guys.
Awesome. So how did you develop this story?
Well, it started off, I teach an after-school comics class, and there's always the kids that they know just what they want to draw, but then there's other students that are just petrified by that blank piece of paper.
Yeah.
So I gathered up a bunch of students that were nervous, and we did a mashup superhero where I said, okay, pick an animal, pick a power, and someone immediately said, well, draw Dogman. And I said, well, there's already a Dogman. So we picked a cat, and someone said electric, powers, and another person mentioned a scientist, so we created a character called Captain Cat.
Wow.
And the kids got so excited about it, and eventually that became Max Meow. I brought it home, and my son Will saw it, and Will got so excited. He's like, Dad, can we work on this together? And so Will actually helped me write the first Max Meow book.
Oh, wow, that's awesome.
My son Will, he's 15 now, he was 10 then.
Oh, okay,
And,
awesome.
yeah, and he was a big Dogman fan. That was how he got excited about reading. So I wanted to do something that would keep him reading and, really create something that would get kids excited.
Okay, that's great. So it's not like you just have one book. How many books of Max Meow have you done now?
So there are 4 Max Meow books that are out now. The 5th one is coming out in November of 2023, and I'm working on book 6 right now. So there's at least 6 that are going to be coming out.
Oh, wow, that's awesome. That's awesome. So if anyone wanted to pick up on the story, do you suggest they start with number 1 or can they jump in anywhere?
Well, that's a great question. Well, you can really start anywhere. If you read it from 1 to 4, you can pick up like a sort of a longer story arc about some of the characters. There's some bad guys that decide they'd rather be good guys, but really can read it in any order. I have a bunch of kids who come to me, for some reason they discover book 4, and then they go back to the beginning.
Okay, right on. So can you tell me how you started getting into drawing, and also what started your interest in education for drawing, for kids?
Right. Well, when it comes to drawing comics, I always tell people it's my mom's fault, because I was about 6 years old, and I loved to dress up as superheroes because I discovered comics. I just loved reading them, and I would dress up and I'd tackle my big brother. He was dressed as a Joker, or no, he wasn't dressed as a Joker. I was dressed as Batman. I'd pretend he was the Joker. And so I was kind of out of control. My mom gave me a pencil and paper and said, well, if you like Batman, why don't you write a story? And from that point on, I'm like, oh, I can do this. And I've been doing that ever since for the last 40 some years, and it's just been great. And I forget the second part of your question. So it was...
Oh, and then how did you get into the education?
Oh, on the education side, when I started doing comics, I hadn't really chosen to do comics just for young people, but I noticed that there were not many books at the time. There was Jeff Smith's Bone comic and a couple Archie comics, but there were no kids superhero books at the time. So I started creating books aimed at that, and that slowly turned into me speaking at some libraries and schools.
Wow.
And I ended up becoming the art teacher at my children's elementary school for 3 years, and I learned so much about creating for young people. So now, even though I'm not an art teacher anymore, I still like to go around and visit schools and get kids excited about drawing and reading and ultimately comics.
What do you think was your most rewarding aspect of teaching kids art?
Well, what I really realized, because when I first started creating these comics, I didn't have kids yet, and now I have 3 children. They're all older, but I feel like I started to understand the imagination of young people, which was anything goes. What I thought young kids could enjoy as far as stories go, I hadn't even gotten started. Like, I really started to understand what made them laugh, and sometimes it's just silliness, other times it's having a message, but never hitting one over the head with that message.
Yes, right.
And so that's really what's helped me. And I I've thought about, maybe doing some more training and teaching like that as well.
Oh, that's great. That's great. So, I know you're busy. You've got folks waiting literally right here to talk with you and sign books. But two more things. One is, what is a piece of advice that you could give young artists to encourage the drawing or inspire more drawing? And the last thing is, if someone wants to find out more about you and Max Meow, where do they go?
Okay, well, the biggest piece of advice I give people is that if you want to draw comics or draw at all, you've got to draw. It's like, try to draw a little bit every day at least, because anybody who does anything for 15 minutes a day after a week, a month, a year is going to get better at it. And it's just one of those things that sometimes when I'm working on my books, they're over 200 pages. Some days you just got to show up and draw a little bit, try to get it out there. And of course you're going to be frustrated, but if you keep going, you will get better. And as far as finding Max Meow, you can go to my website, which is maxmeow.com. And we've got some activities and games, how to draws, like how to draw Max.
Awesome.
Yeah, and then all my books are available online on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and places like that.
Okay, great. Well, thanks very much for your time
You
today.
bet. Thank
Get
you.
back to the grind. Take care.
Okay, see ya.